Hello and welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is TBR Jar, Tammy Turns Pages. I am so glad that you are here and that you decided to turn pages with me today. Alright, let's get right into these books. So, I'm not going to go in any particular order, but I will say the first book, read the last book that someone recommended to you. This one I picked Unburdened by Dorit Kemsley, and I got about 45% of the way in and I decided to DNF it. It wasn't for me. I thought I was going to be getting a lot of like juicy detail about her and PK. If you know anything about like Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, then you know like she's going through a pretty messy divorce right now. But I was thinking I was going to get some of that. I was thinking that I was going to get some of how she got into the show. I didn't really get a lot, and also if you know Dorit, she says a lot, but there's not a lot that's actually being said, so that kind of is what happened in this book. And she did have a ghostwriter, but it didn't even really feel like she had a ghostwriter. It felt like she kind of wrote it herself and then maybe had somebody proofread it. Anyway, it wasn't for me. I wasn't getting what I thought I was going to get from it, so I decided to DNF it. And life is too short to read books that you do not want to read, so it is okay to DNF. The next one I want to talk about is a book that I don't have with me. It is a book with magical powers in it. I will be owning this book. I just haven't bought it yet, but it is A Love Song for Ricki Wilde, and that one is by Tia Williams. The book was beautiful. The book follows our main character, Ricki. She is from a really well-to-do family in the South, and she very different. She is the odd one out. Her sisters are all, you know, have husbands and have, you know, families and are really successful, and she's kind of like surviving, basically trying to figure out how to, you know, be what her parents want her to be, because she has a lot of expectations on her because of her family and, you know, their lineage. She ends up getting to meet this woman named Miss Della, who offers her a place to stay randomly because Miss Della doesn't know what to do with this apartment, and offers her like kind of a job too. Obviously she says yes to it, and that's where she meets our main character Ezra. And Ezra is very enigmatic and very mysterious. Yeah, he's very passionate, very beautifully written. Tia Williams can do no wrong, but the way this was told and like the storyline between the two, and how, I don't want to give it away, but it does have magic, almost like magical realism in it, but it is extremely beautiful. It really did feel like a love song. The Harlem Renaissance is in this, and also like there's depictions of 1920 Harlem. I feel like this was the right time to read it too in the summer, getting descriptions of like the heat and like the South. It was written like a melody, and I ate it up. That was the best book that I read this month. I gave it 4.5 stars. I would definitely recommend you reading that one. The next book is Rules for the Summer. This one technically was for the prompt, read an ebook. And you guys know I actually already had this. I bought this because I had it on pre-order and I got it, but it's also on Kindle Unlimited. So that's another way you can read it. That's how it is an ebook. This book follows main character Renly. She is trying to save her family's beloved candy shop, and upon doing it, she decides to try to get it financed. So she goes on this financier website and asks random people if they can finance or help finance so she can save this candy shop. Unbeknownst to her, signs up to become a fiance and not just have someone finance this candy shop for her. His name is Theo. He flies down to meet her, kind of tells her, hey, you signed up to marry me, so let's do this. And she's like, absolutely not. Like, I signed up to have someone pay for this candy shop. He said, okay, well, I will do that for you if you marry me. She decides to make a bunch of rules for him and says, I can pose as maybe your fiance for right now, for his family's sake, because his family wants him to get married. And she says, as long as you follow these rules and you also give me the money to help me keep this shop going. He says yes, and they start a fake dating type of thing. I loved Till Slumber Do Us Part. That was a 5-star for me last summer. This one was good. This one was better than Just for the Cameras. Just for the Cameras was like a 3.5 for me. This I would say probably like a 3 for me for Just for the Cameras, but this one I'd probably say is like 3.75. I liked it a lot. It was kind of steamy, really a lot of banter as Megan Quinn does, and just a funny summer read. There's a lot of like depictions of, again, hot days, and then they're going to like the swimming hole at night, and they're like doing like truth or dare games and things like that. Also, the cover and the book itself is really pretty, but there's also some pictures in it. Ooh, I don't want to show you that one. Here. There's a picture. Doesn't really give anything away. Like I said, would give this a 3.75. I thought it was cute. Not my favorite, but definitely a fun, light, witty read. The next book I want to talk about is going to be this book here, and the reason why I'm segueing is because this book also has pictures. So this one was read a hardcover book. So this one follows teens playing this escape game, and this is season 5. They are all trying to solve these games as quickly as possible with the best time so that they win like $1 million. They're all broken up into groups. The problem is this game, someone last time. So in season 4, somebody was actually unalived. And that in itself is kind of a mystery because nobody knows who did it. They suspect one person. She's come back to try to figure out who the real was. This is very interesting. I couldn't figure out the twists and the turns because there were so many. I was locked in basically from the beginning. It was a lot, but in a fun way. And this one has pictures for each of the, you can see each of the rooms, memos, and they have some codes here. And you know I love a mixed media moment. I thought this was really good. I would give this a 3.5. The last book I read for this month was The Teacher. This one was for the prompt teacher student. This one follows our main character, Addie. She is ostracized at school because she has what people are thinking an inappropriate relationship with a teacher and ends up getting him fired. Now, she's back the next year and being bullied. She has no friends. She's all alone. Nobody believes her. No one understands her, understands where she's coming from. And all the teachers are told to stay away from her because she's, a wild card. She is trying to rebuild and make friends and reconnect with a friend of hers that they haven't been talking since the scandal broke. Eve is a woman who is a math teacher that works at the school, and Addie is in her class. Eve is also married to Addie's history teacher. Everyone is obsessed with this history teacher. They think he's so hot, and they're shocked that Eve is even married to him because they don't think she's good enough for him. And everyone's always like, how did she get him? Eve is in this relationship with him and is feeling very unseen. She just is feeling like she's alone and not appreciated. So then Mr. Bennett and Addie start kind of having a friendship. He sees everybody kind of bullying her, so he ends up kind of taking her under his wing. She's a very good writer, and he ends up really liking some of the things that she's been writing, and so he puts her up for different awards and different scholarships and writing programs and things. She feels like finally she has someone that she can talk to again. The relationship turns inappropriate pretty quickly. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it there. This book is very Frida McFadden. It felt, the whole time I was reading it, it felt like a Lifetime mystery movie almost. Very high stakes at all times. Don't know what's happening. There are so many twists. You can't believe anything that anyone says. But I thought it was fun. It was probably a 3.5 for me. I thought it was a little extra, but I feel like all of Frida's books are extra. So now we're gonna move on to the portion that is the most fun. This is a busier time for me. I am gonna pick 5, but if I don't get to all 5, please don't hold me to it because this is a busy, I'll be happy if I get to 2. So we'll see. This is a busy time. So let's go ahead and pick the first one now. Jeez. Okay, the first one's, see, the first one says Fierce Female. Oh, I think I know what I want to read. I don't have the book, but I have it on audio. But I've heard that they're all fierce females. But I really want to read the book Girls Girl. So let me see if I can get on here really quickly and tell you what that's about. All right, so this one says, a lustrous debut and a sun-drenched and dewy snapshot of modern girl culture set in the blaze of one suburban Midwest summer. 15-year-old Mina's whole world is her two best friends, but after an unexpected kiss, the established dynamics of their trio quickly unravel. Everything that was once shared openly, from clothes to secrets, now feels impossibly fragile. Loyalty shift and tension simmer across the long days of this pivotal summer where the girls have nowhere new to go and everything new to feel. I feel like this was good. It says like there's the rituals of girlhood, gossip, selfies, sleepovers, but it's also volatile. And yeah, I think this will work for it. And if it doesn't, whatever, just like I said, give me grace because I really want to read this book. Okay. It says, read a book. Okay, come on. Read a book you were gifted. All right, that's easy. Okay, so the second book is going to be Grape Juice. This one was gifted to me by my husband. I'm going to read you the back. Alice is bored romantically, professionally, creatively. So when her boss, a prominent wine importer, this is why I want to read this, suggests that she goes to work at a grape harvest in France, she sees it as a welcome opportunity to course correct her apathy. Though Alice is plenty skeptical of the drink, pay, love premise, she begins to let her guard down when she finds herself picking Riesling and practicing her French alongside a charming cast of international characters, and most notably Henry, the vineyard owner's nephew, who's just as lost as she is. This sounds really fun, and I've just been having a good time with these 831 books. So yeah, this will be number 2. Okay, I'm just gonna go like right on the top because why not? Oh, this one says Rivals to Lovers. Rivals to Lovers. Okay, so I'm gonna pick the last page. This one is by Katie Holt. I don't know, came out a couple months ago. It's from the author of Not in My Book, and I loved that book. So I'm gonna read you the back of this. This is obviously a romance. I'm gonna read you the back now. It says, Ella has grown up at the last page, a charming local bookstore in New York City where she now works. Her first kiss was in the women's health section. A boyfriend dumped her in the comedy. The owner is like a second father to her and has begun training her to take over the store. So when he unexpectedly dies and his estranged grandson is left everything in the will, Ella is devastated. Henry doesn't know the first thing about running a bookstore. With his aging mom back in Tennessee, he plans to stay in New York just long enough to ensure that things are running smoothly, and then he's going to head back home. What he never could have counted on was the beautiful, funny bookseller who loves the last page more than any place in the world. So it's rivals because she thought she was going to get the bookstore, and turns out he's going to get it instead. So obviously they're enemies, and then they're probably going to fall in love. So this will be the next one. This is easy. It says a book over 200 pages. Okay. So I have one that's on my Libby, but also I have it here that I've been wanting to get to. It is a little bit over 200 pages. It's 270 pages. And this one is called Liar's Beach. Let me read you the back really quickly. Lyndon knows he doesn't belong in elite Martha's Vineyard. But when his prep school roommate Jasper invites him to spend at the end of the summer at August House, that's part of the reason why I want to read this, his family's massive beachfront estate, Lyndon tries to fit in. It's not that hard, after all. He's been lying for years. And he's not the only one. Everyone at August House is ready for a wicked good time. So when someone is found unconscious in the pool after a night of partying, it's quickly labeled an accident. But Lyndon begins to wonder. As does Holiday, Lyndon's childhood friend and the only person on the island who knows the truth about his humble background. There's nothing Holiday loves more than a mystery, and she's convinced there's a killer on the vineyard. And now it's up to them to figure out who it is. I really want to read this one because it's the end of the summer vibes, and that's kind of what's happening here. We're getting to the end of the summer, unfortunately, and I wanted to read this before the summer was over, so this will be the next one. All right, and then the last one. What are they getting in there? Oh, wow. It says, can you see? It says, read a book that you previously DNF'd. Yep, I have one for that. I have one for that. I don't have it with me, but I am going to try to get back into it because you gotta. This one's a horror, and I soft DNF'd it. I just never came back to it. I was reading it, and then I stopped, and I just never went back. So it's not a bad DNF. It's just like a soft DNF. It's called A Lonely Broadcast. Let me read it to you. And it wasn't even like it was bad. I just kind of like started reading other books. So you know how that happens. But anyway, if you find yourself driving down a winding mountain road near an endless stretch of pines, try tuning into 104.6, the radio station that shouldn't exist. The village of Pine Haven has a secret of monstrous proportions. Evelyn, a radio host, falling on hard times, finds herself utterly unprepared when she learns that the radio station isn't just for entertainment. It's a watchtower. She's stalked by a bird with human eyes. Her new co-host won't stop singing show tunes. And when the fog rolls in, the beasts of Pine Haven Forest begin their brutal hunt. Evelyn and her friends are suddenly face to face with something much scarier than ravenous flesh giants and vengeful responsibility. A Lonely Broadcast is a darkly comedic tale that mixes elements of cosmic horror, gruesome gore, and a touching story about friendship, grief, and finding hope when all seems lost. This was good. Like I said, I just stopped reading it because I was reading a bunch of other books, and then I never got back to it. I want to get back to this, so this will be the last one. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed my wrap-up, and hopefully you can come back in August and see if I read these books and what I thought about them. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Please don't hesitate to like, comment, share, subscribe. It does wonders for a channel as tiny as mine. I will see you in the next one.